I haven't listened to anything new in like a month and a half. I haven't listened to much of anything, just really been going through it. But, it comes in waves, ups and downs, ebbs and flows. What I know about Mac Miller is that this album, Swimming, came out right before he passed away. I remember my partner at the time finding Mac Miller through this album. He got really attached to it. He wanted me to listen to it, but I was just really busy at the time, so I never got around to it. Then pretty soon after, like maybe a month later, the news broke that Mac had passed away, and my partner was really distraught. So that's all I really know going into it. I guess I also know that he had a really rough breakup with Ariana Grande. I know he had some drug issues as well. We'll cross those bridges when we get there. Swimming by Mac Miller, released August 3rd, 2018. Let's begin. My regrets look just like Texas shooting sand. This song feels like a dream, a sign of hope. I don't know if this is projection, but it sounds like Mac has been wanting to get better for a while. Didn't exactly know how. Maybe this album was a step toward that. After feeling alienated for so long, he's finally ready to come back to earth. I was drowning, but now I'm swimming. Oh, those bass notes. Too stressful waters to relieve. What I won't tell you, probably never even tell myself. He sets the tone of the album with the simple line, "I was drowning, but now I'm swimming," and we hear this titular motif pop up here and there. It's a reminder that even when things get tough, you can find your way back to a place of hope and healing. Gray skies are drifting, not living forever. They told me it only gets better. Fuck this verse. And it's so beautiful too. It's very complimentary, the high notes and the low notes. It's so beautiful. I was already feeling so much emotion just from that introduction. I'm kind of worried for the rest of the album. I'm always saying I won't change, but I ain't the same. Everything's different. I can't complain. Don't know what you missing. Shame on you. Shame on you. His voice is so crisp. The momentum of this instrumental is complemented by the driving imagery of the first verse. The scenery changes and you change with it. Life has a way of pushing us forward and transforming us, no matter how resistant we are to it. Always said I want it all, but it's not enough. I'm always saying I won't change, but I ain't the same. Everything's different. I can't complain. Don't know what you missing. Shame on you. Shame on you. We already revisit the swimming motif, with Mac keeping his head above the water, wanting to persevere with his newfound optimistic perspective, despite the struggle to stay afloat when other things are pulling him down. Oh my god. I don't got the time to let it slide. Everything's strange. That's just a game. Everybody tripping, throwing it away. We was getting lifted, now we getting paid. Shame on you. Oh, that bass, my god. I feel like so much of this production is so pretty though. It's really nice to hear.
Hurt. Feelings.
Whoa, wait. Oh, J. Cole produced this? Maybe I do need to check out J. Cole. That was so pretty. Oh. You can love it, you can leave it. This ain't nothing without it. Don't let them keep you down. I just want another minute with it. Fuck a what's to you? We colder than the breeze, but the breeze ain't flowing like me, motherfucker. Hold up. You don't need to hold up. Wait, what? I initially struggled to fully understand and connect with this song. It challenges the idea of moderation with coping mechanisms, which isn't a viable option for many people with substance abuse issues. Oh, so pretty. I think what surprised me the most was that in this topic of conversation, in an all or nothing mentality surrounding drugs and alcohol use, the right answer would be to choose nothing if you want to recover, but I don't think Mac felt ready for that. Oh. Oh my god. Anyway, despite the conceptual complexity, you can't deny that bass line. It's catchy, funky, carefree, and reminds me of the peak of an inhibited state of mind.
Still they throwing dirt on my name, but it never worried my brains. It's been a while, but I'm down till I'm out, and it is what it is till it ain't.
Thundercat. Who else?
You can love it, you can leave it. It's saying up to me down. Never superficial, you won't know when it hits you. Get a little sentimental when I'm off the juice.
The bassline really reminds me of one of my favorite songs by S.G. Lewis, which is Coming Up or something like that. Anyway, it's pretty similar. Not exact, but pretty similar, and it just makes me want to dance. I don't know. I didn't really hear Snoop Dogg in this. The Thundercat, like, you're at a party or something, and he just, like, walks in the door, turns heads, immediately. I really liked it, though. Oh, this is so pretty.
Well, it ain't perfect, but I don't mind, because it's worth it.
We revisit the swimming motif again, with Mac accepting that hardships are part of life and that it's okay to feel like you're overwhelmed or even drowning sometimes.
As hard as it gets, cool, calm, and collected. Holding my breath, this ain't what I expected. Don't argue to death, pull my heart out my chest. The cards is all on the table, I'm down, bet you know me now. I'm treading water, I swear.
But there's a shift in perspective in the second pre-chorus. I'm treading water, I know. If I stop moving, I'll float. Now he's thinking more optimistically about his own ability to adapt and overcome his life challenges, floating rather than drowning.
Because it's worth it. Is it? The dudes say with the homies like it's Kool-Aid. Me, I'm just trying to play it cool, Anyways, yeah.
Just play it cool, baby. Just play it cool. Cool.
Well, it ain't perfect, but I don't mind, because it's worth it.
I wish I heard more of that.
Yeah. Tell me you love me, spin me around. Pretty please pick me up in the air and don't put me...
He reflects on the important people from his own support group who kept helping him when he was having trouble helping himself. And it's important to reach out to others to offer different perspectives on whatever challenges you're facing. Having a good support system and knowing people care about you is so important.
Perfect.
Ah, the strings. Oh my god, that like panning on this one and the last track. Very, very nice. I love that sound. I love that sound. Oh, the vocal chops. But what's more important is being able to take care of yourself. There needs to be a balance between how much you rely on others for help and how hard you work to find your own tools and techniques for managing it on your own.
Yes, I remember it all. Was feeling like you hot enough to melt, yeah. No one can even trust yourself, yeah.
I love that I could just pick up Jid as the ad-libs here. Oh my god, I just love him. Okay. Someone did mention that one of the voicemails that Jid used in the Forever Story was also a clip that he had of Mac from when he was alive and they were working together. So I just loved that.
We're gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. Switch the time zone. But what do I know? Spending nights hitchhiking, where will I go? Yeah, I've been reading them signs. I've been losing my mind. Yeah, get the fuck out the way.
As much as I want to be, I'm not convinced Mac was taking care of himself in a healthy way. He expresses his inability to trust others, to even trust himself. Perhaps that he leans too much on one person or unhealthy coping strategies. Oh. I love that. But again, despite grappling with the messaging, I can't deny the brilliance of the beat switch here.
loud.
Part 2. Oblivion.
I didn't know what I was missing.
Oblivion. Unconsciousness, obscurity, the state of being unaware or unconscious of what is happening.
Oblivion, yeah, yeah. Oblivion, yeah, yeah. Oblivion, yeah, yeah. I got this gon' travel through the unknown.
Paradoxically, Mac believes that overthinking might have brought him too close to the issues at hand, keeping him from seeing the bigger picture. So he is now choosing to be ignorant to his own anxieties as a form of self-care, embracing the unknown, the possibilities, and tempering his reactions with drugs and alcohol.
Oblivion, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my god!
Oblivion, yeah, yeah. I got all the time in the world, so for now I'm just chilling.
As much as I wish the song was actually about improving his mental state, I think, similar to my conclusion in What's the Use, he still isn't ready for the change. They don't give a fuck about clocks. Or whatever he said. Oh my god, fuck. I really love this second part. The first part was really sweet too, but the second one was just so beautiful. It feels like what I'm getting from this is that this is his optimistic mindset. Like, maybe coming out of a depression, this is kind of the general feeling that I get. Like, just a sense of positivity, an optimistic outlook, and like, it's not all bad. Things can change. Oh, fuck. But that just makes me like so honestly crushed that he didn't get much time to act on that after. Fuck, dude.
I got a bone to pick like roses. I ain't feeling broken no more. I'm just trying to ride and feel the breeze with something bad beside next to me. Wind in my face. Don't stop now when I feel so great. You can run till you slip on the sidewalk.
While re-listening on the metro, I was brought to tears. The song serves as a gentle reminder of how fragile life can be. It's a break in the album to stop and smell or pick the roses. It's sandwiched between two more fast-paced tracks, and the contrast really highlights its sweetness.
Hey. Don't like to gamble on the weather, so I just watch. Well, hey. Well. Moving so fast, the clock looks slow.
I do think the song has a more healthy, optimistic view on his own recovery. He seems to be in a better mental state while writing these lyrics, more accepting of life's inherent aimlessness, and that no one really knows what they're doing, and that's okay.
Don't include your time and company. Follow me, we on the up and up. Remember when I owed $100? Now I look around like, what the fuck? If you don't fuck with me, you fucking up. Just watch. Wow.
We're not alone. It's a comforting realization that we're all navigating life's unpredictabilities together. This brighter perspective helps lift him up. Oh, that was so gorgeous. We can see Mac Miller finally admitting that his emotional wounds have almost completely healed, that he has moved on from the darkest parts of his life, and that the future will only be better for him. I feel like I'm going to be revisiting that quite a bit.
Somehow we gotta find a way.
Once again, we revisit the swimming motif that also ties into an overwhelming barrage of contradictory thoughts.
Feel it a little, feel it a lot. I'm swimming a bit, but deeper in thought. Keeping my head on top of my shoulders. Into some shit.
Life is a little illogical that way. I think that when you're recovering from depression or a depressive episode, it's so easy to swing back and forth between inconsistent feelings until you finally break the cycle.
See the bigger picture when it's beneficial. Loving how it fits you. Blow the whistle when you run out of time. Yeah, we don't have a lot of time to waste. Somehow we gotta find a way.
For me, my cycle is that I feel on top of the world, and then I get anxiety about losing that feeling, followed by self-sabotage or a want to feel comfort, pain from the relapse, then a desire for change. It's so emotionally draining to be climbing up and down these ladders all the time. Oh. Oh.
All the lights flickering, hitting the right switches. I'm living this life different and missing the flight. Bullshitting. I had a plan to change. You can't stand the rain. Living this shit so long that it don't smell.
Oh my god.
Turn a hotel to a castle. Living like a king for a grand. I don't do nothing that's a hassle. Besides, even that castle made it sound. I wouldn't wait forever. Just shoot your shot.
We need to keep going. And with each cycle, hopefully we can get better at recognizing where we can improve. Ultimately, all we can do is our best, and we have these lovely triumphant horns in the instrumental to cheer us on. Oh, it just feels so warm, you know?
Yeah. The world is so small till it ain't. Yeah. I'm building up a wall.
Mac talks a little about the isolation that came with his fame, that it feels like something so trivial since he lives luxuriously better than others, or even than he used to. But the isolation is its own root issue. People need people, and it's hard to get better when you feel like you don't have, or can't have, or don't feel like you deserve that support. I love
The
that.
world is so small till it ain't, till it ain't, till it ain't, till it ain't. I'm building up a wall till it breaks.
There's so many different beats going on right now.
They know that I so need my space. Don't wanna grow old, so I smoke just in case. She say that I glow below the waist in the stroke.
He offers such beautiful imagery with this next part. It's a reminder that it's alright to be in the present moment as opposed to worrying about the future or regretting things from your past.
Tomorrow may be right around the corner, but I swear it's gonna be worth it if I make it. Wait, there's somewhere above you, keep reaching up. That's really all it takes. We don't need nothing but today. I hope I never keep you waiting.
Finally, he makes a note about why he wrote this song, to keep himself from giving up. Maybe also hoping that it helps someone else out there too. And the piano is so lovely.
And I'll be gone. Do you want it all if it's all mediocre? Staring at the wall in the wall full of posters. Looking at my dreams.
Oh, the
Who I wanna
piano is
be.
so beautiful.
I guess you gotta see it to believe.
Whoa. Whoa. That ending chord kind of threw me in for a loop. Very interesting track for sure. Ooh, I definitely need to watch this. Tiny Desk, my god.
We ain't on the same shit. No way. You ain't from my planet, we don't speak the same language. This is in a cage.
The intro section's instrumental is so hard for me to grasp, especially behind his vocals before the beat kicks in.
I don't recognize these faces. Yeah. Where you from? Who you came with? That ain't entertainment.
The rest of the track feels just as suspicious, like Mac adamantly believes actions speak louder than words, but he had a hard time trusting others to keep their word.
Otherwise, it's just a conversation.
Oh, I love this
Why
verse.
you always take? Lacing up my sneakers, I'll be running out of patience. Otherwise, it's just a conversation. We ain't on the same shit. No way. You ain't from my planet, we don't speak the same language. Started in the face.
Oh my god.
Way above the top, now I'm in the spaceship. Shit is spaceship. Everybody's famous.
He revisits his alienated feelings introduced in the first track. He's unable to connect with others, believing a lot of it is because of how separate he is due to his fame, wealth, and status. And he can't connect with his celebrity peers either, because they're inauthentic, acting above others instead of focusing on the work and art that got them there.
Yeah.
The atmosphere on this one is so good. Kind of dark, kind of like all encompassing, you know?
Yeah.
This song sounds like a journal entry, reminiscing on a relationship, how much he cherishes it, and how special his partner is to him. It's very sweet to hear.
So bad. Well, we was fucking, almost missed my flight. But I've never seen you feel that free. Wouldn't you rather get along?
He also acknowledges that he had their differences, but that's all right. And personally, I believe that's what can make relationships so special. You can help balance each other out or offer different perspectives rather than being fused. Wouldn't you rather get along?
I think we just might be alright. Thank God. I think we're gonna be alright. Okay.
It feels like another way for Mac to express his emotional support. He offers soft, intricate layers of comfort, words of affirmation.
I know.
All right is better than perfect, as he has already expressed in a previous track. All right is less pressure, less expectations, more care. It reminds me of my favorite Steinbeck quote, and now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. Oh my god. That was gorgeous. This entire song just felt like a really warm hug. Fuck. It's just so sweet, you know? Oh my god.
Yeah. Used to wanna be a superhero, flying around with a cape, catching bad guys. Now my head underwater, but I ain't in the shower and I ain't getting baptized.
I've talked about the highs of my hypomanic states in my Kids See Ghost reaction. While I can't confirm that there's an explicit connection here, it does remind me of those moments where I feel like I'll never run out of that jet fuel.
Get faded when I wake up, cause everything is too much. So what? Woke up this morning with a ever right here. Let it run. Yeah. Okay, well, I'ma be here for a while, longer than I did expect to. I was out of town, getting lost till I was rescued. Now I'm in the clouds, come down when I run out of jet fuel. But I never run out of jet fuel. 120 on the car that I don't whip. I don't even put it up the driveway. Throwing up shots like I don't miss. Never put a limit on the high stakes. Yeah. I don't need nobody. I don't need to be nobody.
This really resonates with me. Not that I actually believe I don't need other people, and maybe Mac didn't really believe that either, see the previous track, but I don't worry about what others think of or expect of me, just doing my thing.
Okay, well, I'ma be here for a while, longer than I did expect to. I was out of town, getting lost till I was rescued. Now I'm in the clouds, come down when I run out of jet fuel. But I never run out of jet fuel.
It's interesting that the part 2 is only the outro. I love the instrumental break of this track. It's so chill, and the vocals are hypnotic. The transition into the outro is quite jarring, pulling you out of the illusion. Actually, you can run out of jet fuel, and maybe you just did. This part's so organic. I love the reversed instrument that he uses, as it's so similar in frequency to his voice, and then also using the autotune or, whatever synth in his voice is just so pretty, so organic to it, which is strange because there's obviously a lot of technical to it, but it just sounds so raw. Oh. I got chills. Coming off the jet fuel, he's accepting that life won't always be bright. He reflects on how his coping mechanisms aren't solutions. Getting what you want doesn't address the root of the problem. Now that he's come to that realization, he can make a change and step out of the cycle we talked about in Ladders.
Yeah, okay, you gotta jump in to swim. Well, the light was dim and this light was sin. Now every day I wake up and breathe. I don't have it all, but that's alright with me. Yeah, isn't it funny? We can make a lot of money, buy a lot of things just to feel a lot of ugly. I was yay high and muddy, looking for what was looking for me.
The year 2009 was when Mac's life changed forever. It was also actually the first time I had heard of him. The instrumental for Best Day Ever was all over the YouTube sphere I watched at the time, and his name was always credited in the descriptions. But unfortunately, I never checked him out closer until now.
Big enough to bury my soul. Weight of the world, I gotta carry my own. And I'm a pro when it comes to my job. But really, I'm just trying to start believing in God. Now when it gets hard, I don't panic, I don't sound the alarm, because I don't need to lie no more. Nowadays all I do is shine, take a breath and ease my mind, and she don't cry no more. She tell me that I get her high, cause an angel's supposed to fly. I ain't asking why no more. Oh no, I take it if it's mine, I don't stay inside the lines. It ain't 2009 no more. Yeah, I know what's behind that door.
A lot has changed since 2009, and he's reflecting on that. The ups and downs, the highs and lows. Would he have made the same decisions knowing where he would end up almost a decade later? I don't sense any regret necessarily, but maybe he wishes he was better prepared. Regardless, he's grown a lot, learned from experience, and is grateful for what he has now. It's so pretty. I can't get over it.
You could have the world in the palm of your hands, you still might drop it. And everybody wanna reach inside your pockets.
This song encapsulates the general feeling I got throughout the album, so it makes for a perfect summary or in conclusion piece. There's a note of acceptance, a want to improve, and more optimism than he's had before. Though he knows he won't be perfect, that's alright, and life goes on.
More like narcotics, so it goes. Well, everybody gather round. I'm still standing, sit down. Whoa, oh. So go, so go, so go. Da 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 da.
I feel like I have heard this part before.
Well, this is a special delivery.
I believe this track ties into its sister album Circles, which I have not listened to, nor do I have any idea what it's about. I've just heard the title recommended from your comments. But Mac makes it clear that he hasn't given up yet. He'll keep pushing forward just like everyone else.
I can't get no satisfaction, goddamn. Everybody gather round. I'm still standing, sit down. Go, so go. Da 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 da.
He found peace and is moving on, or even transcending. The instrumental illustrates that beautifully. I'm reminded of the fragility of life expressed in Wings. You can accept and make peace with mortality, knowing that nothing is permanent or serious in the grand scheme of things. And it feels as though Mac is washed away by a glorious wave of synths. It actually kind of gives me a Truman Show ending, where he walks up the steps to exit the status quo and start his new chapter. Oh my god. Wow. I do like the general message of all of this, a kind of acceptance for life and the way it is. Things are gonna change. There are gonna be highs and lows. I can't wait to dive into this, I feel like. A lot of what stuck out to me was the instrumental builds, right? Because those inherently are just very emotional, very rising, very uplifting, and it's complementary to his core message. Though I don't know too much about his personal life, it does seem like a lot of what he talks about is stuff that he's gone through. Some of these were just so beautiful. Dunno, Wings and Ladders stick out. Conversation was really cool too. If there is no part 2, I'm gonna be so upset. Thanks for listening with me. Oh my god, I don't think I was expecting it to be so beautiful. Like literally every single song, lots of pretty synths, a lot of pretty bells, and I said this earlier, but the balance between the bass notes and the high notes were just so harmonious, right? But yeah, I do think this was a good time in my life to listen to Swimming by Mac Miller. I'm kind of coming out of my own little depressive episode, and it does feel like something that I will be revisiting in the next few days just to have that sense of optimism and like things are gonna be okay. Fuck, it's so sad just knowing that. I mean, I'm a little confused because I think there's another album that came out after this, Circles. Actually, this came out in 2020, is that right? Mac really did have something special, and it's always nice when I can hear it on first listen and not just during my deep dives. So yeah, thank you for listening with me. Hope you're doing well. And if you're not, don't be afraid to reach out to someone because you matter. Patrons know what's coming next, so stay tuned, stay safe, and be kind.